name's Jenna and today I'm going to be doing my July wrap up and my August TBR. It's August and that's really weird because, you know, it's August and how did this happen? So I managed to read, I don't even know, 7 books? Yeah, 7 books in July, which is kind of insane, especially since I read them all in like the last 2 weeks of July because I participated in 2 separate readathons. That was the final biannual bibliothon and the 2019 reading rush. I only finished books that I read in the biannual bibliothon and the reading rush, so all of these books I have actually wrapped up before, so the wrap up portion of this video is going to be really short. And if you want to know my full thoughts on any of these books, I will be leaving a link in the description box below to both my bibliothon wrap up and my reading rush wrap up, because that is where I talk about all of them. So I will just give you guys a really quick overview though. So the first book that I finished in July and the one that I read for the biannual bibliothon was The Black Reckoning by John Stephens, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. This is the final book in the Books of Beginning trilogy. I loved it. I thought it was a great way to end the series. We got wrap-ups for all of our characters and everyone got the ending that I thought they deserved, so yay. Second book that I read in July and the second book that I read for the final biannual bibliothon was Zoo by James Patterson and Michael Ledwidge. I gave this one a 2 out of 5 stars. It was not a good book. I had some issues with it. I only read it because I loved the TV show, which I then actually funnily enough went and binged, but either way, not a great book. Had a lot of issues with the fact that there were no character depth and there were just, the story made no sense and the science was off, so not overall great and a very disappointing read. And then the third and final book that I read for the final bibliothon and the third book that I read in July was Zoo 2 by James Patterson and Max Solalo. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. It was better than Zoo, but still not fantastic. At least the science made a little bit more sense, the story made a little bit more sense, the character depth was still not there, character growth was not there, and I had some issues, but at least it was a fast read. So the fourth book that I read in July and the first book that I read for the reading rush was Autobiography by Christina Lauren. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. I was very disappointed with it because I thought it was going to be this amazing, hyped up 5 out of 5 star read, and then it was not. I didn't believe most of the characters or their relationships, and I just didn't think it was as cute as everybody says that it was. The fifth book that I read in July and the second book that I read for the reading rush was Nexus by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. This is the sequel and finale to Zenith. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought that it was really well done. I really loved the story. There were some plot twists that just had me shook, and overall I thought it was a really great finale and I really did enjoy the book. The sixth book that I read in July and the third book that I read for the reading rush was A Town Called Dust by Justin Woolley. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. It was a very solidly average novel for me. I don't have a lot to say about it that I haven't already said, but it was very average. And then the final book that I read in July and the fourth book that I read for the reading rush was Prince Caspian by C.S. Lewis. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely adore it. I love the Chronicles of Narnia and I will reread them until the end of my days. And there we go. That is all of the books that I read in July. Like I said, I will leave links in the description box below so you can go and check out my more in-depth thoughts on any of those books. So now we get to my August TBR. And if you guys have been watching my videos for any amount of time this year, you'll know that for my TBRs I've been doing something a little different. I made a document and I like put all the books that I own in chronological order of when they were published, and I have been picking like a year and picking books off that year for my TBR. However, so August is meant to be 2016 part 1 because I have so many books in 2016 because that's when I started BookTube properly, and I just went on like this book buying rampage in 2016 because of BookTube. But I don't really want to read any of them. I was looking at them and I was like, I'm not really in the mood for them, you know? I'm just not. So instead, I'm really in the mood to read a back catalogue high fantasy series. I'm in the mood to binge it. I've got a couple series on my shelf that could fit that bill, but I've chosen a specific one to try to read in August. So in August, I would like to try to read the entirety of the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. It's a lot of books. My TBR this month will include The Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash, which I don't even own at the moment. I will own it. So like, this is a lot of books, guys. It's a lot of books. It's a lot of pages. Like, this is easily, I mean, what? Kingdom of Ash is almost 1,000 pages just on its own, right? Like, it's a lot of pages to try and read in a single month. But I want to do it. I'm determined because I just want to read it. I want to read it, and I want to be like, I've read Throne of Glass and I understand what you all are talking about. So a few years ago, potentially even in 2016, which is really quite funny, I read Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, and Crown of Midnight. I read all 3 of them and I really enjoyed them. I thought they were really good books, and I was enjoying the series because, you know, high fantasy and whatnot, and I really was enjoying myself. And then I started Heir of Fire, and I was not enjoying this book at all. And then I put it down because I got sent a book to critique read, and I was way more excited for that. So I put down Heir of Fire, and I just kind of, you know, never picked it back up. And so I kept saying to myself, no, I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna read it, and then just never did. And then Kingdom of Ash finished, and like it became this whole thing. But I really am in the mood to binge read a back catalogue high fantasy series, and the Throne of Glass series really does fit that bill. So in August, we see if I can read the entirety of Throne of Glass. Please wish me luck. And of course, before we go, I must do the TBR jar. Let's hope that one of the Throne of Glass books can cover whatever comes out of this. Because if not, I'm gonna have an intense month. A standalone novel! I don't think the Throne of Glass books count as a standalone novel, funnily enough. Well, if I get around to reading the YO Circle book of the month, it sounded better in my head. So I'm pretty sure that counts as a standalone novel, but you had one job. So there you have it. Those are all of the books that I read in July and the books series that I am planning on reading in August. If I can do it, I don't know if I can do it. It's asking me to do a lot. It's a lot of pages. I'm gonna have to read like 2 books a week. Oh my goodness, if anything, I really need to read like Assassin's Blade through Crown of Midnight like in a week. I need to read all 3 of those. And then, yeah, I pretty much need to read 2 books a week. I have a busy month ahead of me. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you have read any of these books and what you thought, because I would absolutely love to know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.